In the last video, I talked about Cloud Identity, a tool for controlling and managing user access permissions. Another facet to controlling and managing access is tied to the resource hierarchy, or in other words, what resources users can access. To understand resource hierarchy, it's helpful to use an analogy. Think back to a project you managed at work that involved a group of peers. It doesn't have to be technology related. If you set up the project, you probably planned out what resources you needed and who should be involved in the project as well. You organized your project files into folders so that you and your team could easily retrieve relevant information throughout the project lifecycle. Managing files, folders, and resources for projects is very similar to how teams would use and manage Google Cloud services. First, let's start with the project itself. In the cloud environment, a project is the basis for enabling and using Google Cloud capabilities like managing APIs, enabling billing, adding and removing collaborators, and enabling other Google or Alphabet services. Next, again in a cloud environment, a resource is any Google Cloud service, such as Compute Engine and BigQuery. So any resources consumed by a project, for example, virtual machines, cloud storage buckets, or BigQuery tables, are connected to the project in the hierarchy. Businesses usually have more than one cloud project running, so projects can be organized into folders. A folder can contain projects, other folders, or a combination of both. This means projects can be grouped into a hierarchy. So when I say resource hierarchy, I'm referring to the way your IT team can organize your business's Google Cloud environment and how that service structure maps to your organization's actual structure. For example, by teams or by projects or by both. With a resource hierarchy, IT teams can manage access and permissions for groups of related resources. Starting from the top, everything managed in Google Cloud is under a domain and an organization. Think of this like an umbrella. The domain is handled through Cloud Identity and helps manage user profiles. The organization is managed through the Cloud Console and lets administrators see and control Google Cloud resources and permissions. Projects belong to the organization rather than the user who created them. As I mentioned earlier, projects are used for grouping Google Cloud resources like cloud storage buckets. A project can exist under a folder, so it can be grouped logically to match a company's actual organizational structure. It can also inherit permissions from any folders above it, as well as from the organization at the top, making it easy to set organization-wide rules and policies that cascade down and are enforced throughout the hierarchy. Folders and projects can have permissions that let the administrator control who can create, edit, or just view resources inside of them. For example, you can set up specific users to be project creators, so they can create new projects, and set up other users to be project viewers, so they can see what resources are being used and view the cost for individual projects. Their permissions and structure are flexible, so a business can organize the hierarchy to meet its needs. Two other roles that are important for resource management are cloud billing accounts and payment profiles. Cloud billing accounts live under the organization and track any charges for associated projects. Cloud billing account users can associate projects and see spend, while cloud billing account administrators are able to unlink projects, set budgets, and contact billing support. Google recommends sticking to a single cloud billing account per organization and making sure that only admins can create new cloud billing accounts. This helps manage spend more efficiently and provides greater visibility into cloud usage, as there's a single point of resource management. The payments profile is a Google-level resource that sits outside of Google Cloud and is used to pay for all Google services, such as Google Cloud, Google Ads, or Chrome licenses. In the next module, I'll cover the third operational shift by examining best practices for monitoring cloud services and resources.